In a pivotal decision that has sent ripples across the United States, the Supreme Court has granted the Trump administration's emergency request to revoke a Biden-era parole program, stripping legal protections from over 532,000 migrants from Cuba, Haiti, Nicaragua, and Venezuela. This ruling, issued on Friday, May 30, 2025, marks the second time the High Court has supported the administration's sweeping immigration crackdown, igniting fierce debate and a wave of lawsuits. The Biden administration's humanitarian parole program, launched in 2022 and expanded in 2023, was designed to alleviate pressure at the U.S.-Mexico border. Known as CHV, it offered a legal pathway for migrants from these 4 Latin American countries, allowing them to enter the U.S. by air with a U.S.-based financial sponsor, pass security vetting, and receive a 2-year work permit. The program was hailed for reducing illegal border crossings while providing refuge for those fleeing violence, political persecution, and economic turmoil in their home countries. Approximately 532,000 migrants benefited, gaining temporary legal status to live and work in the U.S. Republicans, however, criticized the program as an abuse of humanitarian parole, arguing that such authority should be used sparingly and on a case-by-case basis, not as a broad policy. President Trump, who campaigned on curbing both legal and illegal immigration, made dismantling the CHV program a priority. On his first day in office, he signed an executive order directing the Department of Homeland Security (DHS), led by Secretary Kristi Noem, to terminate the program. Lower courts initially blocked this move, with U.S. District Judge Indira Talwani ruling that DHS failed to conduct required individualized reviews under the Immigration and Nationality Act. A federal appeals court in Boston upheld this decision on May 5, prompting the administration to escalate the case to the Supreme Court. In a brief and signed order, the Supreme Court lifted the lower court's injunction, allowing the administration to revoke parole status for the 532,000 migrants. The majority provided no explanation, a standard practice for emergency docket rulings. Justices Sonia Sotomayor and Ketanji Brown Jackson, 2 of the court's 3 liberal justices, dissented, issuing a sharp critique. They warned of devastating consequences for migrants whose lives would be thrown into chaos, facing potential deportation before their legal challenges are resolved. It undervalues the lives and livelihoods of nearly 500,000 non-citizens, Jackson wrote, joined by Sotomayor, accusing the government of seeking to inflict maximum pre-decision damage. The ruling has profound implications for the affected migrants, who now risk losing their legal status and work permits. Without parole, they face expedited deportation, though some may apply for asylum, temporary protected status, TPS, or for Cubans, permanent residency under the Cuban Adjustment Act. These alternatives, however, involve complex legal processes and high thresholds, leaving many in limbo. Immigrant advocates have decried the decision as unprecedented, warning of severe economic and humanitarian impacts, particularly in states like Florida, home to large Cuban, Haitian, and Venezuelan communities. This decision follows a recent Supreme Court ruling allowing the administration to end TPS for 350,000 Venezuelans, signaling judicial support for Trump's immigration agenda. Yet, some resistance has emerged within the Republican Party. South Florida GOP lawmakers, including Representative Mario Diaz-Balart, have urged the administration to adopt a case-by-case approach, noting that migrants from Cuba and Venezuela often have strong asylum claims due to political persecution. Logic would tell you that you probably have a better chance to have legitimate asylum claims if you're coming from places like Cuba, Venezuela, Diaz-Balart told The Hill. The ruling does not affect other Biden-era parole programs for Afghans, Ukrainians, and Central American children, which remain protected by separate court orders. However, advocates fear these programs may be targeted next, as the administration has already suspended similar initiatives and expanded policies like Remain in Mexico and expedited removals. The broader context of Trump's immigration strategy includes suspending refugee admissions and tightening border security, reflecting a comprehensive effort to reshape U.S. immigration policy. As legal battles continue in lower courts, the fate of these migrants remains uncertain. The Supreme Court's decision raises critical questions about the future of immigration policy and the lives of hundreds of thousands who sought safety in the U.S. Stay tuned for further updates on this unfolding story, as the nation grapples with the human and legal ramifications of this historic ruling.